Hi folks, now if you've been following the channel since day one, you may remember that last year we went to Paris Games Week to compete in LDLC's annual modding contest. Well, I'm proud to announce that this year I've been selected to compete once more, so you know what that means, it's time to put our modding caps on. LDLC is a French hardware retailer, and every year they hold a modding extravaganza that puts 4 professional modders head to head in an effort to mod their chosen cases and hardware to fit a given theme. This year's being Fortnite. I'm going to be competing against Genki of Thailand, Mikey Sampson of the Philippines, and Olivier Maillet of France. But enough about the contest, let's take a look at the hardware and see what I've got planned. So the way the contest works is each modder is supplied a base set of hardware. In this case it's the Asus ROG Strix Z370 Gaming H, along with some G-Skill Trident Z RGB, a Samsung 970 EVO, and a Core i7 processor. We're also going to be using a GTX 1070 Ti, which we have the option either to keep on air or to water cool, do whatever we want with. My hardware sponsor for the competition is Be Quiet, so they've provided me with a power supply, fans, and the case that I'm going to be working with. In addition to this, we were also given a budget to spend in various modding shops and water cooling suppliers so that we could kit out the builds themselves with a proper custom loop. So I've gone with a bunch of EK components to be able to fit the build and fit the theme that I'm going with. And of course, this graphics card is just crying out to be water cooled, so I think it only makes sense. So let's take a look at the case and see what I'm going to be doing with it. So the case I've been sent to work with is the Dartbase Pro 900 Revision 2. And basically, this is what I'm going to be doing with it. Well, currently is what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing with it. You'll see we've got a power supply shroud here. I'm going to be remaking a new one, and this is going to be fitting the theme. The whole thing I'm going to be going with is black and red. One of the characters that you can get as a skin in Fortnite is the Red Knight. I thought that would be quite fitting, especially given the motherboard, so I've themed the fittings themselves around that. I'm likely going to use a red fluid and then try and work in some of the other themes like the armor plating, using some metal or reflective strips and other similar things. I'm likely going to go with a radiator which is either going to be top mounted or front mounted depending on the layout, and then I'm going to be cutting out windows and distro plates which are either going to go in the base, in the mid wall, or in the front. For the front, I was hoping maybe to try and take some of the character motifs and work it into a distro plate using some of the themes that I've used from a 1000D project earlier. So maybe using a mirrored distro panel to emulate the metal armor, and then trying to get the fluids to have the actual color flowing through it, along with armor plating that might wrap around the front and sort of suit the case itself. One of the rules of the competition is I need to retain the original identity of the case somewhat, so I'm not going to be modifying it quite as much as I quite often do. So the idea there being I'll be using red highlights along with silver, raw metal on both the inside, the outside, and then the actual water loop is going to be doing a lot of the hard work, maybe accented with some lighting. The fans I'm using are not RGB for once, so I'm going to be using them just to fill in the black areas and get the system running at a really nice stable level. One of the things that I was playing with is trying maybe to get the helmet design from the Red Knight onto the front area, or see if I can take the shield that's on the character's back, maybe to be on the top or on the inside as part of the motif. I really want the theming of that particular one to come through, and then I'm also going to be taking elements of the Fortnite logo and then putting them throughout the build potentially. Again, it will depend on the layout and how things turn out. I'm going to be designing it mostly in CAD and then working through it in person afterwards. I'm also going to be using a few different effects that I haven't used in previous mods on the channel. So I'm going to be painting a lot of the kind of exterior and interior work, along with maybe doing some airbrushing to add some kind of weathering, or maybe, if I have the chance, using a little bit of leather to sort of get that whole medieval armor look going, which I think should be quite unique and quite eye-catching. This is going to be exhibited live in an event, so it needs to be able to really show what it can do both live and in the photos and video. So it's important to have really eye-catching elements and take the whole theme so that it's very easy to recognize. So that's the route I'm hoping to take. Let's see if I can actually do it.